Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. This is going to be a very, very interesting show this evening. And to my super chat, thank you, D. Lynn. Thank you so very, very much for starting it off. And what can I tell you? Luke St. Martin, Eric H526, thank you very much for being amazing moderators. The best moderators in all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, they're doing it again. They're doing it again, and it's kind of hilarious. We'll start off with the following. Only Trump is investigated. See, what Democrats do is they commit crimes, they get investigations to take place, and then suddenly, gosh, we found no crimes. Gosh, that's interesting. With Trump, he doesn't commit any crimes. So, Trump doesn't have servers with top secret intel. He doesn't delete 30,000 emails. He doesn't, he doesn't transfer, he doesn't, what did, Uma Abedin and Weiner and all of them, they accidentally used laptops to, well, one of them used laptops to send pictures of himself. That was fantastic. And then his wife was accidentally transferred top secret intel outside the U.S. Classified data outside the United States government. And then there was just the coincidence of money flowing into a foundation from Uranium One officials, and just coincidentally, President Obama didn't veto the sale. Then you have a whole bunch of things that might not be, against the law, but, the Attorney General Loretta Lynch speaking with Bill Clinton about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren right before Madam Secretary's interview with Peter Strzok, who then went on to interview and set up and frame Michael Flynn. Then you have Comey saying Clinton didn't intentionally use servers. Then you have, I think it was, who was it? The New York prosecutor who said, gosh, we looked into the Clinton Foundation, we found nothing. So it's just so interesting. They never use public record knowledge resources, whether it's Clinton Cash with Peter Schweitzer that talks about millions upon tens of millions of dollars being sent into the Clinton Foundation and then beneficial treatment taking place. The response from Snopes and everybody else is, well, there's no evidence that this money that went into a foundation has anything to do with beneficial treatment experienced by those who sent money into the foundation. There's no evidence at all. So you have public record research from John Solomon, from Judicial Watch, from Peter Schweitzer, Clinton Cash. You have all of this public record circumstantial evidence. They don't utilize this circumstantial evidence for any special counsel or for any investigation. What they do is they investigate Madam Secretary, her servers. They ask people some questions here and there. And then they never find out how top secret or special access program intelligence was actually transferred outside of the United States government on servers. They don't really care about 30,000 deleted emails. It just happened, By the way, her attorneys deleted those emails. And they just say, look, we looked into it. We didn't find anything, we looked into it. We just didn't find anything. With Trump, you have this headline today. Prosecutors hint at probe into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization. What? What does possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct mean? Is that like what Peter Schweitzer wrote about in Clinton Cash? Kaylee Smith! Kaylee Smith. Hello, Kaylee. Thank you very much. Kaylee Smith, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you so much. Thank you as always for watching and for your support. Kaylee Smith, the interesting thing, Christopher! He's like Emperor Palpatine, always working in the shadows. Pretty much. Christopher, Kaylee Smith, thank you so very much, Kaylee Smith. Christopher, thank you so very, very, very much for starting it off. Prosecutors hint at probe into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization. How do we know? How do we know this took place? Why did I talk about John Solomon and Judicial Watch and Peter Schweitzer and, the public record evidence that shows that money flowed into a foundation, beneficial treatment took place? I mean, you could look at UBS, Boeing. There are countries that wanted weapons deals, the Uranium One sale, Haiti. $10 billion raised in Haiti. Only 3% of the money was given to the people of Haiti. And I interviewed a brilliant journalist, Daddy Cherry, Haitian-born journalist in the Huffington Post, and she stated that, only less than 3% of Clinton Foundation affiliates, the money raised by them, went to the people of Haiti. So this is all public record. What they say is, well, correlation does not equal causation, and you have to have a signed letter from Madam Secretary stating that I, Madam Secretary, who, by the way, will be the nominee. Just, took me 5 minutes or so. But I will have made the biggest political call of all time. She's the only person who could stand up to President Trump. And she has the gravitas. She has the ability to, she has the possibility of, they have a chance at winning with Madam Secretary, but they won't. President Trump's going to win. President Trump's going to win, and it's going to be fantastic. The polls are even worse than they were in 2016. Kaylee Smith, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you. Christopher, thank you. But this is interesting. Prosecutors hint into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct of the Trump Organization. Okay, this is today. Basically, they have nothing. So, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Monday hinted at its subpoena for President Trump's tax returns as part of an investigation into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization, including potential fraud allegations detailed in media reports in recent years. Wait a second. If there was an investigation predicated upon the writing of Peter Schweitzer or John Solomon or the writing and the findings and the court findings of Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton, and if you cited the Federalist or the Daily Caller or Fox News or any conservative publication as the basis for investigating anyone, Schumer, Clinton, Pelosi, Biden, they would say, my God Almighty, how dare you begin an investigation based solely on news reports of journalists who are already against their direct political rivals. Now, including potential fraud allegations detailed in media reports in recent years. Okay, let's look at this. Look, when the shoe is on the other foot, they don't care. They're so duplicitous and hypocritical and disingenuous. It's unbelievable. In response to the latest legal challenge by Trump's attorneys, New York County prosecutors said that news reports about the president's financial history provide sufficient justification. Excuse me? News reports? There are endless news reports from there's David Sirota wrote, and Andrew Perez wrote, I believe, an article in the International Business Times about the overt quid pro quo payments into the foundation and then weapons deals while Madam Secretary was in President Obama's administration as the nation's highest diplomat. And then those countries got exponentially greater weapons deals. And that's from a liberal journalist. That's from a liberal journalist. or progressive journalist. So you have progressive journalists who have looked into this as well. I wrote my writing in the Huffington Post, The Hill, Salon. I wrote a lot about the top secret intelligence on servers. A whole bunch of articles that I wrote. So are they going to use the articles that I wrote to start an investigation? Are they going to use the articles that John Solomon wrote to start an investigation? Are they going to use the articles that have been written in Fox News or the Daily Caller or the Federalist or anywhere else? No. Yanking bass on grass. Not saying it won't happen, but from a strategic standpoint, it would be very unwise for any Clinton to run right now with all the negative publicity. Regardless, Trump will win 2020. The polls lie. Big time. The polls are horrendous. Thank you so much, yanking bass on grass. I'll tell you this, though. Like I said last night, God himself could come down and say, "People of earth, this is God Almighty. You've never heard me speak, which is one of the reasons you've had so many problems for thousands of years. But I am only speaking to you to tell you one thing. Again, this is the good Lord above. The God Almighty created everything you know. The planets, the clouds, the sun, you. And I just want to let you know, again, this is God. The Clintons are very guilty of numerous crimes. Okay, I won't be speaking to you ever again. People of Earth, it's been fun." Yanking bass on grass. The second, the moment you get Snopes, God, without evidence, claims that the Clintons are guilty. All the millennial, progressive, liberal journalists, can you believe what God said? God, without evidence, claimed that the Clintons were guilty. He didn't even give any evidence. Thanks a lot, God. No wonder nobody believes in you. So it really doesn't matter. There's no shame in their game. There's no shame in their game. So they don't care. They don't care. They view scandal and controversy as invigorating. They view it as an invigorating. As a sport, as something rejuvenating. They don't. Bill and Hillary don't stress. They don't know what stress means. There's no stress. It's just forward thinking. This type of personality is. They have a goal. They've set a goal, and nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop them. That's why Hillary is going to be nominee eventually. I don't know when. Could be after the nomination process. I don't know. I don't care. But I think it's going to be at that nomination. But we'll see. They can't go with Biden because the whole thing would collapse so quickly. But Angela Goodwin, the computer program shows the wrongdoing because do as I say, not what as I do. Don't work with neither Kinderlock nor else. Yes, Angela, thank you. Angela. Kinderlock in English filtered out from my message. Gee, I am a teacher. What shall I do? That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, that's something that I appreciate. Angela Goodwin, thank you, Angela Goodwin. Speaking in code. This is fantastic. Angela Goodwin, thank you so very, very much. Kaylee Smith. Nick DiPaolo. Nick DiPaolo is great. Love Nick DiPaolo. Nick DiPaolo has had an awesome take on why Biden won't be debating Trump. Suddenly debates become irrelevant. Why are you hiding Biden? I was a Democrat.
Have you ever been to one? I was one. Have you ever been to one? That's because I was one, little lady.
Kaylee Smith, thank you so much, Kaylee, for your generosity. Exactly. Well, they're not going to have Biden debate Trump because it would be an absolute catastrophe. It would be an absolute catastrophe. So they're definitely not going to do that. Angela, thank you so very, very, very much. Chase Mobs, a true journalist. This money's long overdue. Chase Mobs, thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for the kind words. And it means a lot to me, and I appreciate the kind words greatly. Thank you. Chase Mobs, thank you. Thank you, Chase Mobs. Thank you so much. They're not going to... Biden debating Trump would be like Jerry Nadler going one-on-one with LeBron James. Who do you think would win? My money's on Nadler. Old school dad, man! H.A. funny how we called no debates weeks ago going to be a virtual election. Exactly. Old school dad, man. Thank you. Raw Olympia! Thank you, Raw Olympia. Old school dad, man. Kaylee Smith. Well, this is the thing. They're going to, this is part of everything that I've said. This is not rational. This is not reasonable. This is not normal. This is part of paving the way for Clinton 2020. How pathetic and miserable do you have to be? How utterly incompetent do you have to be to not debate the incumbent, the president, when you want to become president yourself? Clinton would do fantastic. Look, I'm not a fan, but she does well in debates because I'm not a fan, but I'm trying to. Hillary Clinton can stand up to President Trump. If it's Clinton versus Donald Trump, it's like, two behemoths. Now, it's like two behemoths. So Raw Olympia, thank you. Kaylee Smith, love Nick DiPaolo. I loved Nick DiPaolo before his YouTube channel, long before. So he's awesome. He's great. Raw Olympia, thank you. So my thing is, if you don't debate, you have major problems, and that's just yet another reason why they need to go with Clinton. AJB78, thanks for your analysis. Much appreciated. Thank you so very much. HB78, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate your support, and thank you for the kind words. Thank you so very, very much. Hi-Fi Trucker! Trump should go ahead and set up a debate. 2 podiums, one for Trump and the other for Biden's empty suit. Yeah, I think so. Hi-Fi Trucker. Hi-Fi Trucker. There will be a debate. I was going to say there's not going to not be a debate, which is very not, I guess it's grammatically correct. I don't even know, but it's not. I'm not communicating myself in a. I'm communicating in a Biden-esque manner here. They're definitely going to have debates. That's how AOC won over Crowley. He didn't debate her. When you don't debate somebody, you're saying that your ideas are not worth. Your ideas would lose under any scrutiny. Jeanette, thank you so very much, Jeanette. Thank you. Your ideas would lose under any scrutiny at all. So that's the whole thing. Debate is something that Democrats shy away from because emotion doesn't win a debate. You can be very, very emotional or very confident, but at the end of the day, emotion is the only thing Democrats have, and it's not something that wins an argument. You can't say, you put the remote control in the kitchen specifically because the Russian neighbor wanted it to happen. I can't believe you. We're going to have a divorce right now. We're divorcing. That's not an argument. You can, I mean, it wouldn't even be a debate. It'd be like, what are you talking about? I accidentally left the remote control in the kitchen. Do you have any evidence? Why would you even say this? You're making a claim you can't back up. You know what? You're not a good faith debater. So, you're just, you think you're this master debater. So forget it. I'm not going to debate you. 1998 Blue Dog. How does Biden or whoever not debate? Don't have to be in the same room. Well, I think that it's all a charade. I think that what's going to take place is this is yet another reason why Democrats are going to say, this is just yet another reason why Madam Secretary is going to be nominee, because they can't go into the election. They can't go into November 3rd without presidential debates. It's not possible. So let's scrap the debates. We'll read this really quickly. This is hilarious. CNN, right-wing media focuses on imaginary controversy, suggesting Biden won't debate. Then New York Times, let's scrap the presidential debates. Like, what? They always contradict each other. They've become unrevealing quip contests. Yeah, well, so what? So, do you, like, I've done the, there was an amazing article written, and to my viewers who have watched this channel for a while, I do this, there's an article that I keep reading from time to time, and it's about, in 2016, this is before the Russians and the Facebook ads and the Twitter bots, but where they say, like, the author's like, I watched the presidential debates without the sound on, with the volume off, and I know who won. And it's like, oh my God, like, it was just so funny. But here, the debates took us nowhere near the realities about arguably the most disastrous president in our history. How on earth is this man the most how on earth is this presidency the most disastrous presidency? The Bush administration. You look at what happened with not only a financial collapse that brought us almost to the brink of depression, but getting us into never-ending military conflict, never-ending quagmires, the worst mistakes in terms of foreign policy since Vietnam. Not just, I mean, you can't even view them as mistakes. They're the biggest catastrophes since Vietnam. And instead of, like, it's okay for the Lincoln Project people and the wonderful liberal I'm with her Democrats. It's okay for them. Trump's personality is the most disastrous. I want to know what Trump did. What did he do that it was, his response here? And, it's like they're so apoplectic. They're so dramatic. They're so, like, devoid of reality. But here, the party conventions, also vestigial organs of political system that no longer exist, are close to being done away with. What? Just because the Democrats have no political party doesn't mean the Republicans should do away with their convention, if not for the reason they should be. There's no reason not to throw the presidential debates on the trash heap of useless at best rituals that are no help in making such a fateful decision. No, the reality is that Democrats can't communicate their ideas through debate. And under just a modicum of scrutiny, their ideas either wilt or aren't as, profoundly morally superior as Democrats have certain policies that they always claim are so profound, and they hide behind this aura that they're morally superior. But then when you engage in a debate and you say, yeah, well, sure, Medicare for all would be great, but, it's not really feasible, then it goes from there. Well, of course it is. Well, then why haven't Democrats passed the legislation? Well, I'm not a Democrat. Well, yeah, but, you vote Democrat. And furthermore, why haven't Democrats even passed a bill? Well, you know what? Why don't you just vote Green Party? Why? We know why you don't vote Green Party, because it's not fashionable. But see, Biden, they're afraid of that man debating because they know Trump would eat him alive. Tuan win! Trump doesn't have to debate Biden. All he has to do is play all of Biden's recording. Exactly, especially quid pro quo on Ukraine. Exactly. Exactly, Tuan win. Exactly. I agree with you on that. And I have long been a proponent, Tuan Win. I have long been a proponent of exactly what you just said, and I don't know why President Trump doesn't just have like an iPad and just right here. And of course, SNL will do a whole thing, but see, that would reinforce exactly what Trump. I mean, on YouTube, those segments would go to 1 million views. The Council on Foreign Relations quid pro quo statement. No, I've long been a proponent of exactly what you just said right now. I have no clue why they don't do that. And could you imagine President Trump actually has this iPad and he's like, right here, look at this. And you get, or just a tape of Biden speaking. And it would be amazing. I have no clue why they don't do that. Tuan Win, thank you. Yanking bass on grass. I heard from another YouTuber, according to their source. I don't talk about that ever, and people have accused me of things that aren't true pertaining to that. Because when I appeared on RT, I actually there was nothing I said that was conspiratorial. Absolutely nothing. That's why whenever somebody accuses me of something regarding that topic, they never play any of the tape. There's even one point where I agreed with the Democratic consultant on that show and said, yeah, nobody is saying that Clinton or anyone else did anything specific or anything horrible, because I've never said that. But I disagree. I don't think that is yanking bass on grass. I don't think that is going to take place. Love your stuff. It kept me. It kept making me edit and try again. Thank you. That's right. Because of the algorithm. Yeah, yanking bass on grass. There's the only surprise that's going to take place is Madam Secretary is going to be the nominee. That alone will be a godsend. See, right now, Democrats in this article, let's scrap the presidential debates. Yanking bass on grass. Democrats have no ideas that they can debate. Anyone on the left, with a major million per sub platform, any of those 800 to million sub platforms, not only would I defeat very easily in a debate because I know their Achilles heels. I know exactly why they're so duplicitous and disingenuous. I know exactly why they lose. I know exactly why they lost in 2016. I will know exactly why they'll lose in 2020. And they were dreadfully behind they were clueless. They'll all be, the entire media, including all the wonderful left-leaning pundits, will be completely blindsided when Clinton becomes nominee. She's the only chance. She's actually the best candidate they have, which should tell you about something about the Democratic Party. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They claimed without evidence for 4 years that Trump worked with Russia. They never had any evidence. Any evidence that they claimed was evidence was purchased by Clinton or had something. Everything was linked to Madam Secretary, whether it's Alexander Downer or the Steele dossier or Peter Strzok saying we'll stop Trump. So they had no evidence. They never found anyone conspiring with Russia. So they never had any evidence that Trump withheld military assistance to go after Biden. because Biden is the most horrendous candidate of all time. Kaylee Smith! I'm 30 years old and I'll never stop saying TDS needs to be added to DSM. Kaylee Smith, you are 100% right. First of all, thank you for your generosity and your support. You're 100% right. TDS is a phenomenon that it makes people almost speak in tongues, but it's like the liberal speaking in tongues. Like, Kaylee, it's like, have you ever had the misfortune of debating somebody who has TDS? I have, and that's why I urge everyone, do not engage in any discussions or debate with anyone who has TDS. Because they'll go into like, hey, he just wants to control the world, okay? He just wants to control the world. He's just horrible. Like, they'll go into this like, this kind of like this, this trance. Exactly, Tara Hillbilly. Exactly. They'll go into this trance where they won't come out of, and they'll just start accusing Trump of all these different like hilarious things. He'll never leave the Oval Office. He's just he just wants endless power. And it won't ever stop. It's like this trance that they go into. It says more about them than it does about Trump. These are the people who would never have listened to punk music or any type of different music when music was important to the lives of most people. Kaylee Smith, thank you. Thank you as always, Kaylee. Thank you. I agree with you. Yanking Bass on Grass. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you, Yanking Bass on Grass. Thank you. Thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Angela Goodwin. Can anyone tell me who will be the VP of the VP? Because we already know the VP will be the... This will be a nursery rhyme of the future. Well, the presidential nominee will be Hillary. But we're just waiting. Angela Goodwin, we're just waiting. Clinton's going to be nominee, and it's going to be so fantastic. I can see it on the horizon. I hear this, Angela. I hear this. Why aren't I 50 points ahead? Oh my God! Do you hear this? Why aren't I 50 points ahead? Oh my God! It's getting closer. Why aren't I 50 points ahead? It keeps getting closer and closer. Angela, thank you so very much, Angela. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. Boban! Trump is going to win bigly. The left is going to torch this country the next 4 years. I think, though, when he wins again, Boban, thank you so very much. Boban, thank you. Watching in Hong Kong, thank you. Boban, I think that you're right. You're right about two things. One, you're right about Trump winning bigly. He's going to win. But I would say that I agree with you that the left is going to be even more unhinged than usual. Although I don't think that it's going to be. I don't think they're going to be able to continue the madness past the election because they will have lost legitimacy and credibility. That's the only thing. So I agree with you. They'll be completely unhinged when they lose again, which will be hilarious and pathetic and sad and amusing. But it's actually, they're going to dissolve. They've reached a point of no return where they've reached diminishing returns. So the more anger and vitriol that they spew, it actually hurts them. It doesn't help them anymore. So Boban, thank you, Jimbo. It looks like VP will be pick will be left for HRC. Yes, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Jimbo, Boban, thank you. I don't know how they're going to do it. Let's scrap the presidential debates is one example of, I mean, it's, you are giving up the intellectual basis, the moral basis for your political party. If you cannot even communicate why your policies are better than or Trump's policies, because Trump's policies are not necessarily establishment Republican policies. His foreign policy is infinitely better than President Obama or Bush's foreign policy, which is the worst foreign policy of all time. Ask the people of Libya what they think of the Democrats' smart power, what they think of President Obama. There are human beings being bought and sold now. So, and Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, it's unbelievable how the wonderful, virtuous liberals have rewritten history to where Bush is palatable, but Trump with his tweets, oh my God. They never gave Trump a chance. Madonna, like a couple days after he was inaugurated, stated that she wanted to, basically, we'll just be nice, dismantle the White House. She used a different word. Old school dad, man! Yeah. Oh, old school dad, man. We can't really do that here. But I think the poll would lead to the obvious. Old school dad, man, thank you. Old school dad, man, thank you. Pete Solano, old school dad, man. Basically a rhetorical poll or question, but thank you as always, old school dad, man. Just the algorithm is old school dad, man, thank you. Pete Solano, the cure for TDS is hot cocoa. No, the cure for TDS is, unfortunately, President Trump losing, which is very, very scary. But Pete Solano, thank you. Otherwise, there is no cure for it. Pete Solano, thank you so very much. Pete Solano, thank you. Old school dad, man, thank you. Larry! Larry, thank you. I don't know how you breathe in California and Los Angeles, 100-degree heat. Larry, thank you. Pete, thank you so very much. In 100-degree heat, I see people riding a bike, and I say, oh, how do they breathe? How are they breathing? So, look, this is the Twilight Zone. Don't think this is not the Twilight Zone. I'm H.A. Badman Serling. Rod H.A. Badman Serling. And this is the Twilight. We're living in the Twilight Zone. Don't think that we're not living in the Twilight Zone, because we are. This is not like life as we know it. This is not life as we know it. This is a whole lot of industries. Or I should say this. It's August, September, October. We have 3 months left. We have literally, it's August 3rd now. We have literally 3 months left before the Democratic Party implodes. And you see a blame game of biblical proportions. Epic, monumental proportions. Everything, like all the vitriol and venom, all the discontent, the stomping of the feet, the temper tantrum. They've had a temper tantrum for 4 years. They have fabricated quotes and then intent when they couldn't fabricate the quotes of actual quotes. They have manipulated. They have set up and framed. They have done everything possible. They have treated President Trump in a manner that they have not treated any other president. He didn't bring it on to himself, although his personality was poked and prodded, and they got exactly what they wanted. And they never gave him a chance. And then they said he's not presidential, and oh my God, and this is a horrible situation. And they have tried their best to create their own little world that they're now trying to tell everyone, hey, you don't have to have this world anymore. But half the country's like, I don't live in your world anyway. You created your own little world. I'm not voting against the Trump that you created. I'm voting against the Trump that I see. Boban! But the good news is Trump will be unhinged as well. It'll be a treat to watch him decimate and destroy the liberal sandcastles one by one. Pretty much. They are liberal sandcastles. That's a brilliant way of looking at it. That's a brilliant way of looking at exactly. That's a brilliant way of looking at exactly what their ideas, their ideology, their value system is. So it's so brittle. It's so there's no structure to it. It's made of sand. You believe, you yell, you scream, you believe, oh my God, no, you can't have Kavanaugh, oh my God, no, we're going to descend upon the Capitol, we're going to jump into elevators. That's why, who was it? Was it Orrin Hatch? He was like, toodaloo, bye. They're like, and then you have, Jeff Flake? He's like, what do? I can't do anything. Why don't you press the down arrow so you can go down? The people yelling at you are not going to hurt you, Jeff Flake. Don't worry. I'm so morally conflicted. They're jumping into elevators. It's Operation Cackle Screech. And then with Tara Reid, it's like, we don't just believe her. But wait a second. You were completely hysterical with one situation, and you're completely apathetic with another situation. Why is that? Oh, because you don't have you don't have a value system. You're only pretending to care about certain social issues if it benefits you politically. This is why President Trump's going to win, because President Trump they view him to be the antithesis of who they are, when in reality they aren't a specific. They don't stand by a specific doctrine or value system or ideology. Their viewpoints on everything their viewpoint is malleable. It's open for debate and discussion whenever it helps them politically. So you can cancel out historical figures and erase them from history, but you can't do that to the Clintons. You can't do that to President Obama, no matter what they did to Libya, where human beings are being bought and sold now in Libya. I did a segment on that in H.A. Goodman's other channel. You have this viewpoint on the left that you have to look at historical, you have to look at people within American history and judge them not by their time period, by the sins that they've committed. Well, then why don't you do that with President Obama? Well, what sins did he commit? I don't know. Why don't you go and take a vacation to Libya? Tell me how it goes. Go take a vacation to Libya. See what American foreign policy has done to that country. The authoritarian that they kicked out was not a saint at all, but the people in that country lived a better life than most other countries, and the country was functioning. It was not a failed state. President Obama single-handedly turned it into a failed state. That is not hyperbole. There's endless articles, foreign policy. These are all like the establishment publications that blame the NATO intervention in Libya for directly causing it to become a failed state. So why don't you judge President Obama based on that? They don't. Shannon Russell! Dr. Russell, hello! In your opinion, who is the primary puppet master and behind the curtain of the great and powerful Oz? I think Shannon, thank you so very much. Thank you, Dr. Russell, thank you. I think that's a great question. I think it's a political machine, like Tammany Hall and Boss Tweed and George W. Plunkett. And this is... The Democratic Party has always been a political machine that runs on perceived ideals and finds a way to make a lot of money. It's very lucrative. Politics is very lucrative, especially if you're a Democrat. So there's honest graft, legal graft. I think that right now the two most influential people are Bill and Hillary, and they've always been in the Democratic Party. And they've always been since 2015. 2008 was the last year, Shannon, where Democrats had some semblance of meritocracy. Because you had Clinton, who went up against President Obama, who is a better campaigner. I mean, there's no question that President Obama easily defeated, not easily, but he defeated Clinton because he ran a better campaign. Bernie Sanders would have defeated Clinton if it was a fair primary. Trump defeated Clinton. So she'll be the nominee this year, but she won't have to campaign. So it'll be, it'll be great. She's the only chance they have. Look, they wanted a do-over and a repeat. They think people made a mistake in 2016, so they want a chance to do it all over again. Shannon, thank you so very, very, very much. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Brian Morrow! Oh, I don't think so at all. If you know that my name has been cleared, and I had a choice between Southwest, JetBlue, Delta Airlines, and American Airlines, and El Al. And my frequent flyer miles on El Al and Indonesian Air. I just said, why not utilize another mode of transportation to my favorite destinations? And they don't have anything on me. I mean, they might as well try to get Ken Starr again because I'm squeaky clean. I'm clean as a whistle. They got nothing on me or my wife except Russian propaganda. Brian Morrow, I don't think anything, like I said, God could come down and say, the Clintons are guilty. Nobody would believe it. They would say God, without evidence, claimed Clintons were guilty. So Brian, thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Shannon, thank you. Bo Bon! My advice? Well, I believe in the Second Amendment, Bo Bon. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I have, protected myself, my family, and I feel safe, and I feel, I think that all Americans should, especially in this day and age, enjoy or appreciate or take advantage of the rights that they have within the Bill of Rights. I think Antonin Scalia stated it is a natural right, or the way the Second Amendment is written is that the right to bear arms is actually not. It actually exists. It exists before. It exists before a government tells you or allows you to bear arms. So here, hold on one second here. Shall not be infringed, meaning that the right precedes. The right precedes any, state or constitution. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The left is very funny. They're like, oh, make it difficult. It's like, well, criminals don't. Most crimes are committed with illegally obtained firearms. So, and you look at cities that have the most laws regulating, and it's like nobody cares. The criminals don't care. You're only making it difficult for the law-abiding citizens. But see, again, they love government, but they don't want government involved in social issues. They don't want government involved in certain elements of life, but they want government involved in every other element they want. They despise Trump, but they love James Comey, and they loved government when President Obama was there, but they don't like government now. It's like they're all over the place. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, Boban, thank you. But, yeah, I mean, Boban, thank you so much. I just think that you look at what's going on right now with this election is the most, it's up until this point a very boring. Hopefully this channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel makes it amusing, but this has to be the most boring election of all time. All it is President Trump coasting and cruising to re-election. Media completely apoplectic, hysterical, fanatical, seething, fuming, full of venom and vitriol and anger and frustration and hyperbole. The hyperbole is unbelievable. I mean, the hyperbole is unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Todd Rubel! Todd, I love you. Todd, thank you. Yanking bass on grass. Todd Rubel, thank you. Yanking bass on grass. Something is only true when James Comey writes it on a napkin somewhere. Yanking bass on grass, thank you. Wally Pop, hello. Todd, I love you. This is. I have to invoke the Wally Pop rule here, just because I know that someone's going to be like, "Oh my God, H.A. Badman, how could you allow anything like that?" So, Todd, I love you. Thank you. I apologize, but I know that it was innocent, completely innocent in jest. But just, I have to abide by the algorithm, which is after President Trump wins, a lot of things will change, but you'll be able to, I think, well, I don't know. But Todd, thank you so very much. I apologize for that, but I just, who knows, people are going to get, who knows what people would say. I don't know. I just want to be safe. Todd, thank you as always for your support. I apologize. I'm invoking the Wally Pop rule. Wally Pop, you're the best. You're awesome. I've done that a couple times to Wally Pop, and it's been unfair and wrong, but I have to because of the algorithm. But she's awesome. Todd, you're awesome. Thank you. Yanking bass on grass. Something is only true when exactly. Well, he writes it on a napkin, and then when Peter Strzok deletes 5 references to gross negligence, which is actually within the legal statutes. Boban! Served my country once, will come back to do so again if required. Well, God bless you, Bo Bond. Thank you for your service. Bo Bond, thank you for your service, and God bless. And I think that everything's going to be just fine with the country. Bo Bond, Todd, Yinkin Bass on Grass. Thank you so much, Yinkin Bass on Grass, for your support. Bo Bond, I think that the country is going to be fine. Right now, you have a very vocal, angry, pathetic, sad political side that will stop. I mean, they don't really have anything because you have to understand. Also, people have to understand that. I think people need to understand also that President Trump has the United States government in terms of, like, he has the intelligence community. Eventually, the media will slither towards President Trump. You won't be able to see the coverage will change. The coverage will initially become a lot more favorable for President Trump. I don't think people realize that. Bo Bond, thank you. Yankin Bass on Grass, thank you. Todd, thank you. I don't think people understand, or I don't think people realize that media was very favorable towards Bush in the early 2000s. Media was extremely favorable towards President Obama. Media is basically the mortal enemy of President Trump. That's going to change because what happened is the intelligence community, the wonderful community that's been right on everything from the Gulf of Tonkin, the Bay of Pigs, Gulf of Tonkin, everything, WMD, and now you have Facebook ads. They didn't even predict the fall of the Berlin Wall. Shannon Russell, thank you very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Dr. Shannon Russell, thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to see how this plays out, by the way. I feel that it goes much deeper than the DNC and the Clintons. I wish I had real knowledge. I was forced to edit my question. First of all, Doc, thank you so very much. Shannon, thank you so very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Please be here November 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's going to be fantastic. President Trump's going to win. Clinton is going to be nominee. She'll be on that ballot. She'll be opposite President Trump. It'll be a replay of 2016. They'll lose again. They'll get it out of their system because Biden is certainly not the actual nominee. That's absurd. Shannon, thank you again. I think that it really comes down to Bo Bond. Thank you again, Bo Bond. Thank you. Thank you, Bo Bond. Shannon, I think it just comes down to the following. You have a very lucrative, so you had to go to medical or dental school to become a doctor. You had to do a lot of work, okay? A lot of work to become a dentist. You had to do a lot of work, and rightfully so. Doctors make a good amount of money, and they deserve it. Lawyers, if they're good, business owners, whatever, actors, whatever, baseball players, whatever it is that is lucrative, also comes with a lot of hard work, an intense amount of hard work, and some luck, but mainly hard work, putting your nose to the grindstone, studying, a lot of work, a lot of ingenuity, a lot of long nights. And okay, you don't do that in the Democratic Party. Politics is not like that. I mean, in some ways it is, but it's like they don't put in the work to make the millions upon millions. They maybe put in hours, but doctor of dental surgery. But see, you had to put in years of your life to do what you do. If you won a congressional seat and you stayed there for 20 years and then you became vice president, or you became a huge DNC, a top-level DNC official, or whatever, you could then also benefit, just like Biden has benefited. His net worth increased, like 10, 12, 13 million dollars since he left office. Well, how did he do that? Biden net worth after leaving office. How did he do that? Did he go to medical school? Did he go to medical school? How Joe Biden went from middle class Joe to a millionaire? How did he do that? In the span of what, 10 years? Oh, this is $4 million here. I saw Bill Clinton's net worth is like what? The Clintons have like 130 million between them. Oh, so he's taking $15 million. So here, what is Joe Biden's net worth? Fox Business. So I think it's about a very lucrative profession called politics, called being a politician. So you have $15 million. But after years of silence, the 2020 presidential hopeful released his federal tax returns. Biden publicized his federal returns from 2016, 2017, 2018, revealing he and his wife Jill have taken in more than $15 million since leaving President Obama's White House. What? How do you take in $15 million? So, Shannon, that's the issue. There's nothing more than that. It's just politics is extremely lucrative. And the people at the head of the hierarchy are the former vice president, former first lady, senator, secretary of state. So they get to run the racket. It's a racket where you get paid for access, and you get paid for your networking, and you get paid for you need a literary agent, no problem. You need a producer, you need a script to be sold, no problem. You need I don't know. You need a favor, UBS, Boeing, Uranium One. Oh, just give to a foundation. So it's a very, very lucrative. Like I said, there's George W. Plunkett had that book about Tammany Hall. One of the articles was legal graft. General D. First of all, Shannon, thank you again. I think it's just about. I think it's just about a political machine that is just based on legal, honest graft, what they call legal, honest graft. General D, thank you, Shannon. General D, very much, thank you. How will Clinton get to know she is the Democrats' nominee? She smashed all her... messenger pigeon. Oh, I think the one that Debbie Wasserman Schultz picked off during Bernie's speech years back. General D! Pete Solano! HA, is the media violating their First Amendment rights by lying about President Trump? Oh, Pete, they're not. Because it is their First Amendment right to engage in a lot of hyperbole and to spin. They can spin a narrative as long as they deal with, like, if they publish, President Trump might have worked with Russia. They can always fall back and say, well, it's a government investigation. So they're covered in that respect. Pete Solano, thank you. Florida Man Bear. I guess if you can't find Snake Pilskin, you can call up Boban. The selection goes sideways. Thank you, Florida Man Bear. Boban, thank you. What is it? Snake Pilskin, Escape from L.A., Escape from New York. Oh my God. Love Kurt Russell. Love Kurt Russell. Big Trouble Little China. Love Kurt Russell. Love that movie. Love Kurt Russell. Snake Pilsen. Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. Oh, my God. I love that. Florida Man Bear, thank you. Yankin' Bass on Grass, Blink HA if you're in trouble. Yankin' Bass on Grass, doing good. Doing good. Diane Stewart, keep on trumping. Diane, thank you. Diane, thank you so much. The Magnificent Tube. Joe Biden and his son Hunter have been scamming Amtrak forever. Yep. That's, politics. And Shannon, I think that, it could go deeper than, sure, I'm sure you can probably look at things and say, okay, well, you know what, this goes deeper than that. But at the end of the day, the one way it goes deeper is that you have establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats who don't like Trump's personality, but they also don't like his foreign policy. Because Trump doesn't need an enemy. He's a businessman. So having this external enemy is not good for him. The Democrats blame Russia because they're actually the ones in bed with, probably literally also, they're the ones in bed with Putin more so than anyone else. Did President Obama send lethal aid to Ukraine? No. It was Trump who did that. Also, not one Facebook ad swung a vote. Not one Facebook ad swung a vote. So I don't know, I don't understand what their obsession is other than it's an easy scapegoat or way of explaining their failure. And you can't do that in life. So everyone here, in your job, as a dentist, you can't be like, you know what? Sorry, pulled out the wrong tooth. It was the Russians. What do you want from me? You can't do that. If I just sat here and talked about the 85 Bears, I love the 85, or the Raiders, I love the Raiders, for 2 hours, people will be like, well, okay, look, 5 minutes, fine. But 2 hours? No, you can't. And then I say, well, you know what? Putin made me do it. What do you want from me? You can't simply always, you can't simply always blame another country. But they can, because they have media and they have very gullible electorate that'll believe anything, or voting base that'll believe anything. The more independent voters are actually Trump supporters. Believe me, if I cared what people thought of me, I wouldn't. And as they say, when I was on the left, they'd say, "Oh, you're a grifter, man. You became a Trump supporter." I became a Trump supporter because he's a great president. Then they're like, "Oh, how could you go? You obviously didn't stand for any values." Yeah, I wanted Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, and I have that with President Trump. I thought that Bernie would bring home Americans. I thought Bernie Sanders would bring home Americans. So that's the biggest reason I wanted Bernie Sanders. And they don't care about that. They don't care. They're like, oh, you know what? Leave people, in harm's way. Oh, you know what? Doesn't matter. Jimbo, why haven't we seen the Facebook ads? Exactly. Why haven't we seen any? I can't wait to debate anyone who said Trump worked with Russia or Russia interfered in the election. Tell me which Facebook ads. Which Facebook ads swung which states? I want to know. I want to know which Facebook ads. I would love to know which Facebook ads. That would be fantastic. I want to know. And the hilarious thing is that it is such a absurd and ridiculous Bruin Lancer. That's a great name. Well, I don't. I think that message board is very dangerous. I think it's like the biggest hoax of all time. I say this with all due respect because you're supporting me, and I thank you for that. Bruin Lancer, and you know what? I'm a Trojan fan, so Bruin Lancer is fantastic. But they're most likely the imbeciles who are running that message board and deceiving millions of people, and doing so in the most unethical manner. It's really sad. They're almost certainly watching me and a whole bunch of other people. And, I wrote in the Huffington Post, in 2017, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. Believe me, when Clinton becomes nominee, there will be one person, only one person, not a message board, not anyone else who predicted this. And it will be moi, H.A. Badman. Not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm not trying to, it's not about me making the biggest political call of all time. Bruin Lancer, thank you, by the way. I do appreciate the support, and I just wanted to be honest. It's not about, ladies and gentlemen, me making the biggest political call of all time. See, it's not about that. I don't want to focus on the fact that nobody in all of media has made the biggest political call of all time like I made. That's not what this is about. This is not about this is not about the absolute most brilliant political call of all time. It's not about that. It is about simply pointing out that, there's only one person, and it's me. Bruin Lancer! Love your streams, brother. Just had to ask. I'm a UCLA Bruin. Okay. I have very, very good, close, the most amazing people in my life have been Bruins. I don't let that get into it, but I love you even though you're a Trojan. Thank you so very much. The most amazing people in my life have been are Bruins. And I thank you for your kindness. And actually, the first game of the year, Bruin Lancer. The first game of the year is UCLA SC. So, USC football. Can you believe that? September 26th. Oh my God. Okay, it's at UCLA. We have a great quarterback. Slovis is the man. It's going to be a great game. USC-UCLA September 26th opener probably not happening then. What does that mean? Now it's not happening? I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what's going on. So it might not be, so Bruin Lancer, it might not happen in September. Well, there you go. I just read right now that it might not happen in September. Bruce Wayne! New to the show, thank you. Cosmic Grandpa, who will be Clarice Veep? I don't know. Hillary, Madam Secretary could be the Veep herself. That could be a possibility. I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait 2 weeks. They're going to go, ladies and gentlemen, I think they're setting the groundwork for the transfer So Brew and Lancer, thank you so very much. They're setting the groundwork for Madam Secretary to just take the nomination. Obviously, Shannon Russell, thank you again. Shannon Russell, thank you. I don't know. Could be Kamala Harris, which would make I don't understand why I don't understand. California's going to go. Who knows? I have no clue what's going to happen. All I know is that at the end of the day, Clinton is going to be debating President Trump. And it's going to be game, set, match. The Democrats will lose miserably again. And they're going to blame Russia again. They're going to blame Kanye. Kanye is the new Putin. Kanye's the new Putin, everyone. Pass it around. Kanye equals Putin. Even though his presidential campaign seems to... Let's see. Has been hitting some obstacles lately, but New York Magazine, 2 people linked to Kanye West's campaign are active in GOP politics. Oh my God. So this is hilarious. Then you get articles. Democrats want Biden to debate Trump despite the risks. What are the risks? The fact that you have no ideas that you can debate? The fact that President Trump can say, yeah, hey, signed the First Step Act, gave more money to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, including President Obama in the first term. Signed an executive order lowering prescription drug prices, reversed U.S. foreign policy, bringing home Americans. First president to step foot in North Korea. What is it that never worked with Russia? Because that's absurd. Democratic senators say Joe Biden shouldn't be afraid to debate President Trump. I know that Biden will show who he is, a man of both empathy and competence. Oh, empathy. Ask Tara Reid if Biden is empathetic. Don't you love this? It's like they live in their own world. They live in their own world. It's unbelievable. They just really live in their own world. A man of empathy. He's such a good man of empathy. He's so empathetic. All right, let's see here. Such a good man, of empathetic man. New York Times. Let's just read this article. Let's scrap the presidential debates. They've become unrevealing quip contests. So what? Democrats, they want to. This article is written because Clinton lost the election and debated Trump, and Trump. Trump's best line was wrong. And see, they're not good. Democrats are not good at convincing people of anything. The left is not good at convincing Democrats of anything, and Democrats are not good at convincing the country of anything. The entire left the left of center is horrible at convincing anyone of any policy idea. Horrible. Nervous managers of the scheduled 2020 presidential debates are shuffling the logistics and locations to deal with the threat of the pandemic. But here's a better idea. Scrap them all together. And not for health reasons. The debates have never made sense as a test for presidential leadership. In fact, one could argue that they reward precisely the opposite of what we want in a president. When we were serious about the presidency, we wanted intelligence, thoughtfulness, knowledge, empathy. I love this word, empathy. They're the least empathetic people. They have zero ability to feel what others are feeling, the Democrats. They have zero. They call half of the country deplorable. If you don't agree with them, you're a racist Putin puppet. They're the least empathetic people on the planet. But let's continue. And to be sure, likability. It also goes without saying dignity. Yet the debates play an outsized role in campaigns and weigh more heavily on the verdict than their true values deserves. See, Clinton literally, they said she won every single debate. Jimbo! Maybe Susan Rice, she had HRC's back. Yeah, but that whole thing, I don't see the Durham probe. Susan Rice is implicated within the Durham probe. So, I think that's their way of saying, Jimbo, oh yeah, we don't care about the Durham probe. So I think that's more of, their way of saying that. Perhaps the most substantive televised debate of all was the first one between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, which Nixon was considered to have won on substance on the radio, while the cooler and more appealing Kennedy won on the television. Since these weren't true debates, the concept of winning one of these odd encounters was always amorphous. No, it wasn't. They were debates, and maybe they weren't like college debates, which I believe the college or the high school debate system is you could actually win a debate on an absurd premise as long as you prove it. To be sure, many questions by panelists and journalists were designed less to stimulate debate than to challenge one of the candidates. So what? So what? You want to have, this is the American way. We want to have the AFC champion versus the NFC champion. Eastern Conference, Western Conference. Okay? We want NL West versus NL East. We want a National League versus American League. We want the two champions to square off. The Democrats are petrified because they realize they have nothing. They spent 4 years blaming Russia, that they only have contempt for Trump. They don't have any policies that they want. They have zero policies. They pretend to talk about policies, and then the Democratic platform, the committee right now is we're not going to do that, we're not going to do that, we're not going to do that, and you know what? Too bad. And they don't want to join the Green Party. Okay, anyone on the left who wants Medicare for all, I should just say, they should all join the Green Party, but whatever. Green Party isn't as fashionable. And, of course, it's linked to Russia because of Jill Stein, so. Over time, the debates came to resemble professional wrestling matches. Good, yes, this is fantastic. What's wrong with that? That's fantastic. Good, fantastic. Mazel tov, great, fantastic. And more substantive debates were widely panned in the press. Points went to snappy comebacks and one-liners. Good, fantastic. Witty remarks drew laughs from the audience and got repeated for days and remembered for years. Good, fine. What's the problem? What's the problem here? It's called debate. You are going up and you have your ideology, your value system, your policies, your political paradigm against the other person's. What's the problem? Oh, that's right, because you have nothing to stand on. Because when Democrats were in the Oval Office, they engaged in a NATO intervention that obliterated a country and did nothing lasting. You could say that the Affordable Care Act was a lasting legacy, but other than that, you can look. President Trump won because people did not think. At the end of the day, President Obama is viewed by media as a fantastic president. If he was as great of a president as media thought he was, Clinton would have won. That would have been a third term for President Obama in a way. The Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin hadn't voted for a Democrat since the 80s. You can't blame it on racism when you had states, because, assuming that the Democrats are the antithesis of racists, You had states that didn't vote Democrats, didn't vote Republican since the 80s, and they chose President Trump over the first female president. And the same thing's going to happen again. Clinton's going to lose again, but she might get closer. Who knows? Who knows? Or it could be the same type of defeat, but they'll lose again. So this is interesting. Some of them have been less than hilarious, but they did the job of dominating reaction to debate. Whatever substance existed was largely ignored. The issue of substance is not, you're not talking about, this isn't like, a scholarly discussion. You are trying to convince the 320 million Americans. And see, every country has a debate. France, the UK, every country has debates for prime minister or president. Notice the Democrats, and I have tried to debate every person who's ever done a hit piece on me or on YouTube or in writing, and they won't debate because they know I'd cut them up and slice them up and dice them up and eviscerate them. They don't have anything but vitriol. They don't have anything but negativity. They don't have anything but the haterade that they drink 24/7. That's it. Nothing else. They have emotion. Democrats run on emotion, not logic. All I want is health care. Yeah, well, Democrats said no to Medicare for all. They told you no. I mean, come on, it's people's lives. Yeah, I know, the Democrats said no, not Trump. Biden said he would veto. He literally would veto Medicare for all. Biden. What does Bernie have to say about this? I'm fighting for you. Medicare for all. What was that, Biden? You're going to veto it? No problem. This is what I'll do. Before we give it to Madam Secretary, I'll tell everyone I'm working for you. I'm working for Medicare for all, and I'll pretend to battle you, and at the end of the day, I'll help you sweep Medicare for all under the rug. They have nothing. They have no policies, nothing. So, man, they eat hater tots, exactly. In the first 1984 debate, Reagan seeking re-election at 73, the older person to nominate the president seemed tired and tended to wander off mentally at times. His lackluster performance caused panic among his staff. Democratic supporters of former Vice President Walter Mondale saw an opening. But another debate soon followed, and then Reagan said, I will not make age an issue of the campaign. I'm not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and experience. A great line. This is fantastic. How is this a reason not to have the debates? The audience roared, and Mr. Mondale feigned a laugh, knowing he was cooked. Not even Reagan's ending of the debate. Not even Reagan's ending of that debate, reminiscing about driving along the Pacific coast and musing about time capsules, was enough to undermine his political prospects. Reagan's joke aimed to nullify the age issue dominated the post-debate chatter. But what is the point or relevance of the carefully prepared one-liner? It's as spontaneous as a can of sardines. Yeah, so what? It's usually delivered from a memory chip in the mind, having been fashioned and rehearsed with age. Oh, you mean like the shimmy? Remember the shimmy? Remember when Madam Secretary had the shimmy? The shimmy. Insouciant. They love the shimmy. You don't think she looked in the mirror? Okay, this is the 5,000th time I've done this. I mean, it's like they lose and they're like, you know what? This whole Super Bowl thing, let's just give it up. I mean, really. We had a good AFC Championship game, and you had a good NFC Championship game. Leave it at that. No, we want the Super Bowl. You just don't want to debate because you get clobbered. Just like you blamed Russia because you were mortified and you had to find something to save face. When is a president called upon to put down an interlocutor? But be it a member of Congress or foreign leader. This, by the way, isn't written out of any concern that Donald Trump will prevail over Joe Biden. Of course it is. Mr. Biden has done just fine in long strides of such contests. Really? He got defeated by Bernie Sanders. Oh, you said you would cut Medicare. Oh, and then everyone on social media, yeah, Bernie. And then they thought that was fighting, and then they got steamrolled as usual. Moreover, we didn't need the debates to tell us that Trump had chosen to be the P.T. Barnum of American politics. No, he wasn't the P.T. Barnum of American politics. He has a personality that they obsess over, and then they poke and prod. It's like Trump is like this big giant orange elephant, and they poke and prod him. They're like, "Oh my God, the elephants stampeding all over he's crushing the people watching the circus." It's like, well, you poked at him and you threw things at him. Like, what do you want him to do? They insult, denigrate, demean, mock, set up, and frame Trump, and then he fights back, and they're like, look what he's doing! Look what he's doing! Oh my God, the P.T. Barnum of politics. It's like, no, you never gave Trump, they never gave Trump a chance. There was the resistance from day one. It was the nice pink hats, the fantastic. He never gave Trump a chance, and they set him up and framed him the moment he became president. That's what the Durham probe is about. For him, it was, and still, all about the show. No, about distracting the public from reality. No, the reality was we had record low unemployment. The reality was there's one political side that wants to keep the economy shut down, and there's one political side that wants to open it up. It was obvious that Mr. Trump had no real affinity for the working class people whose votes he was chasing. What? We had record low unemployment among all demographics. So, try again. And voters with just high school degrees were doing better. Of all demographics, were doing better than they ever have under Trump. Nothing in this life suggests that his heart was with struggling workers and farmers. No, everything suggested that. That's why struggling workers and farmers voted for him. It wasn't impossible to know that he was a skilled businessman. He professed to be. His bankruptcies and shady business practices. Okay, yeah, and he's the first president. He's the only. He's given more to historically black colleges and universities than President Obama did. So. And he signed the First Step Act. And we had record low black and Latino unemployment. So the debates took us nowhere near the realities about arguably the most disastrous president in our history. No, he's probably the best president in my lifetime. I would say he's the best president. So this is exactly why he'll win. Because more people agree with me than that vantage point. They became simply another tool in his arsenal. Okay, well, there you go. This is basically what they've done, ladies and gentlemen, is they have stated they don't want to debate President Trump because at the end of the day, they won't be able to impose their viewpoint. Because Trump will be in the way. He'll be an obstacle. He'll have the audacity to actually talk back. You know, this is like the reality. Okay. The reality that they've created is not like the Trump that they've created is not reality. So That's not, they fabricated a person who got into the White House because of Russian interference. This is not the person that people see. People don't see that person. You have to be a lifelong, loyal Democrat to believe that Russia interfered in the election, and that's the only reason he won, and all that stuff. So Big Daddy, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Russell. Thank you, Shannon, very, very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Everyone, thank you so much. To my super chat, thank you. We did an hour and a half and kind of running out of steam. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. It's heating up. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee, I will have made the biggest political call of all time. And I can't wait to relish the experience and enjoy the experience with everybody here. Be here, ladies and gentlemen, especially when Clinton becomes the nominee, but also especially when President Trump wins the election. The polls are even worse than they were in 2016, and they've done it to themselves again. They're in for the biggest letdown. Their meltdown will be not only biblical, it'll make 2016 look like the happiest moment in Democratic Party history. And they've done it again. They're so overconfident, and like, you know, they've just done it again. They've set themselves up for the biggest failure of all time, and they won't have the corrupt intelligence chiefs to blame Russia. So, give me your thoughts below. Hillary is going to debate Trump. It ain't going to be Biden, and there will be debates, and Clinton will debate Trump. And Madam Secretary will lose again, but it doesn't matter. She'll run in 2024. What's the problem? And I want that to happen. She's fantastic. God bless her. Wally Pop, hello. Thank you, everyone. Eric, H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you. Shannon, thank you again, sir. Thank you. And everyone, Jimbo, everybody, thank you so very, very, very much to my super chat. Thanks, everybody. Greatly appreciated. You help me do what I do. And subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. I have a great segment up. Check it out. Thanks, everybody. Have a great, great evening.